Oh, hell no. That looks wild.
These are the 25 most absurd fouls in football history. And first, the foul that was committed by one of the nicest guys in football. It was a matchup between Everton and Spurs during the 2019 season. And in the 78th minute, Son caused one of the most painful injuries imaginable. He tried to reach the ball, but it was too late and hit Gomez's ankle, completely turning it the other way. Players started to panic, and fans that watched it up close were shocked.
Oh my goodness.
Received a red card and was absolutely heartbroken.
Yo.
Obviously, that foul was...
I don't... Yo. We're gonna see shit like that on this video. Oh my god. Yo, that's like a fear of mine. Your foot just dangling like that.
Intentional, but the top three has some crazy revenge moments that are a lot more brutal. But first, an amateur player from this tiny country
I like this video already.
Goretzka's head. It was in the group stage of the World Cup 2022 qualifiers, Germany versus Liechtenstein, and only 8 minutes into the game.
Dang.
High challenge there.
Yeah, this random guy who plays for an amateur club in Switzerland almost broke the jaw of one of Bayern's best midfielders of all time. I'm glad Germany butchered them 9-0. Dude should go back to playing in his crappy little stadium and leave the pros to it. But even they can lose control sometimes. Because what Francesco Totti did to Mario Balotelli didn't only send him off, it also got him a 4-match ban. It was the 2010 Coppa Italia final, Rome versus Inter. A then 19-year-old Super Mario was dominating the Italian fields and driving opponents crazy. So 1-0 down with a trophy at stake and less than 3 minutes left to play, Totti lost it.
Cerca di guadagnare il fondo, prova a passare in mezzo a tre, messo giù, punizione, cartellino.
That's foul. That is a foul. That's foul. That's
Totti che è espulso.
He just mad.
Lui passa.
No, that's not cool.
Bruh, even the fireman was like, what the f? And the crazy thing is, Totti later admitted it was intentional and he wanted to hurt Balotelli for insulting him for years. And I guess De Jong held
you can tell it was on purpose.
for some reason. Oh man, that kung fu kick never gets old. Crazy to think that he only got a yellow for it, which can't be said about Sergio Aguero, because after a 1-3 beating in his own stadium, he went leg first and flew straight through David Luiz. The horror tackle got Aguero a 4-match ban, and Luiz later claimed to have suffered 2 years from the reckless challenge. But
that's my name,
the
Luis.
worst foul ever committed on a Chelsea player, because John Terry almost died on the pitch. The Blues and Arsenal went head-to-head in the 2007 League Cup final. With the game tied up and only a few minutes on the clock, Chelsea was given a corner and Terry...
They haven't cleared it on.
Oh... Diaby wanted to clear the goal and Terry tried heading it in. Not the best idea. He swallowed his tongue, couldn't breathe, and had to be treated on the field. The entire stadium was speechless. Mourinho thought he lost his captain, and Diaby was praying right next to him. Luckily, he fully recovered, but the kick to his face was so hard, he doesn't remember anything from the incident. But everyone remembers this ridiculous tackle on Messi. This ain't no NFL. I guess some players tend to forget that. I thought me and my friends only did that stuff to each other in FIFA. I feel bad for Morata though, but I even feel worse for Gavi, who almost lost his ear during a game versus Osasuna. Unfortunately, I can't really show the foul because he was bleeding too much, but the 19-year-old needed medical treatment on the pitch and got his ear stitched up, which looks painful. And so does number 16, because during a game between Ajax and Bayern, Thomas Muller tried recreating the Karate Kid. As he was stretching his leg to reach a long ball,
my goodness,
he hit Nico Tagliafico straight in the head with his studs, requiring the Argentinian left back to continue the rest of the game with staples in his head to stop the bleeding. Muller watched the rest of the game from the dressing room and got a 2-game ban for his sickening foul. But that's nothing compared to Kevin Muscat's tackle that got him banned for 8 weeks.
Oh no, this might be this has to be crazy.
Getting past Brebner. Muscat, he's off again. A second straight red card for Kevin Muscat, and he didn't even see a second yellow. It's a straight red.
The up and under, he's gone way over the ball. That is dangerous for Muscat.
And Adrian Zahar was definitely hurt. He needed surgery on his knee and wouldn't play football for a whole year. Many Australians even claimed the incident tarnished his career, which was almost the case for Aaron Ramsey as well. February 27th, 2010, Stoke City versus Arsenal. The build-up to this match was really intense because both managers made it very...
If I play soccer and you break my ankle, my shin, my leg, my toe because of a foul, and my career might be over. You owe me money.
Obvious they hated each other, but nobody expected that day to turn into a horror scene when Ryan Shawcross went in ruthlessly and snapped Ramsey's leg into pieces. One player stated, "I heard the crack of Ramsey's leg from the bench. I heard the screaming." Shawcross was immediately sent off and got a 3-match ban. The entire Arsenal staff was concerned that the 19-year-old would never play professional football again. But luckily, he made a comeback 9 months later and played 7 more seasons for the Gunners. And let's just say that karma came around for Shawcross, because after he'd stated that the injury he caused Ramsey never affected him, he found himself in a familiar situation in 2019.
Chasing the ball back, gets a challenge, and
oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
And was ruled out for 4 months. And at number 12,
I guess karma does work. Let's come back.
One, but 2 players at the same time.
I think I've seen this one.
¿Qué pasó con André Orellana? Ahí va.
Yeah, I've seen this one.
No puede ser.
Pero esto no solo es para rojo.
Es inconcebible que un futbolista pueda hacer esto.
no, extraño en Orellana.
I've seen another one where the guy just goes crazy and just starts fouling everybody.
This heavy challenge on Barcelona captain Lionel Messi meant that Trigueros was shown a straight red card.
Dude almost broke the GOAT's ankle. Now I understand why he has his legs insured for $750 million.
What?
And with that, we made it to the top 10.
How'd you get insurance on your legs?
The most brutal fouls from here. Just wait until we get to the top 3. Starting off with this vicious kick to the face. Dude clearly aimed for his head. And Paulista aimed for Vinicius' ankles. No wonder he was banned for 2 games. But this dude should be banned from the Sunday League.
Oh my goodness. No, you heard that.
We got another dude trying to smash Messi's ankle.
Yeah, I seen this one too.
Lopez later denied intentionally stomping on it. Otherwise, he would have been in trouble for sure. And talking about trouble.
Oh, but that's the challenge. Certainly late. Well, it's reckless.
That outrageous foul on Diaby's ankle resulted in 3 different surgeries and an 8-month recovery period.
It didn't look that crazy.
Really got over it because the French midfielder eventually spent 1,747 days off the pitch, which is almost 5 years, making him the record holder for having missed more playtime than any other football player in the world.
That didn't even look that crazy.
But
I understand.
Jesse Rodriguez, because the kid who was once considered the next Cristiano Ronaldo got his career completely ruined in 2014.
Dang.
As he ran toward the corner flag, he got hit by Kolasinac, who then fell onto his knee. Looking at his face, it was obvious things were serious. His interior
those knee injuries,
was
man,
torn to pieces, and he was sidelined for 9 months. After that, he was never the same again.
A lot of people aren't the same after knees.
Now plays for Los Palmas in the 2nd Spanish league, but at least he wasn't as close to having his foot amputated.
What?
Cisse. Trying to brush off McEverly. Down they both go.
Now, at first, it doesn't look like much happened, but if you look at the replay from this angle,
oh my,
that's just painful to watch. He broke his leg and was on the sidelines for 10 months, but things could have played out a whole lot worse, according to his doctor. Your blood circulation at your foot was irrigated. After 30 minutes to an hour, it would have to be amputated. And with that, we made it to the top
he didn't
3
really get amputated. He almost
in
did.
Football history. For number 3, we got to go back to the 14th of October 2006. Reading versus Chelsea. After only 20 seconds played, Petr Cech was hit in the face by Stephen Hunt, resulting in one of the most horrific moments in football. The goalie injured his skull, couldn't play for 2 months, and wore his iconic headband for the rest of his career. Obviously, Hunt was devastated that he caused an injury so severe, but at number 2, Zlatan was out for revenge.
He wore that his whole career? How long was his career? Like years? So you telling me that he wore that shit to... Damn, Ronaldo played with tendonitis for half his career? And he's still that good? Imagine if he didn't have that shit. Tendonitis and he can jump that high? It's crazy. But you telling me this guy, he wore this shit his whole career? He looked like this his whole career? Yo, what the hell? How did I not know about this?
His iconic headband for the rest of his career. Obviously, Hunt was devastated that he caused an injury so severe, but at number 2, Zlatan was out for revenge. Together with Juventus, he went up against Inter, and all he wanted was to find the net. But all Marco Materazzi wanted was to kick him out of the game.
Favorevole. La discesa di Ibrahimovic. Contrastato.
Zlatan was struggling to walk after that, but he wasn't going to go.
Some soccer players, this is like, dang, why you want to do that?
He never got it that game. because his manager subbed him off in case he would do something stupid.
Zlatan
never forgot about that moment and wanted his payback. So when they came
I think this is the one I
a
watched.
couple years later,
I think this is the one I've
knew
seen.
what he had to do.
I think this is the one I've seen.
Marco beat him to it.
Nah.
Yeah, Zlatan couldn't believe what just hit him. All right, okay, the tone was set. So as soon as he got close to him, oh my God! That kick to the chest and elbow to the face
that was
Marco in the
that was really on purpose.
But our #1 most brutal foul almost ended someone's life. To understand the rivalry between these two, we need to go back to 1997. Alfie was playing as a right back at Leeds, and Roy Keane was one of United's best midfielders at the time. As Keane was going for goal, Holland stopped him, causing him to hit the ground and scream to get medical attention. Holland Sr. thought Keane was faking an injury to get a penalty, so he stood over him screaming to get up. But what he didn't know is that Keane actually tore his ACL. Keane missed the rest of the season and never forgot about what happened that moment. So when the two clashed again 4 years later in April 2001, Keane
he kind of,
was out for revenge.
Damn.
Roy Keane on Haaland. It's a red card.
He doesn't even care.
David Ellery to Manchester United's captain for the 4th time.
Oh,
He
and he
immediately
stood,
sent off.
and he stood over him.
£5,000 and suspended for 3 games. But 1 year later, when the Irishman admitted in his 2002 biography that the foul had been premeditated, I had waited long enough. I fucking hit him hard. The ball was there, I think.
What
Take
the heck?
that, you cunt. And don't ever stand over me sneering about fake injuries. He writes, that is just ridiculous,
Dang.
man. And so are these moments. Click that video right here.
I could have sworn I seen one that somebody was just like running around the field like hurting, like just kicking people. Yo, I'm getting tired. Yo, what the flip? What the flip? What the what the flip?
You ready? All right. Yeah, I'll come back tomorrow. My name is Steven, so you remember me. You gonna be here tomorrow or somebody else?
No, yeah.
How you gonna get yours? How you gonna get yours?
Don't worry about him again, man. You need to be worried about how you gonna get yours when you're not seeing her.
Oh yeah, Madonna. Yeah, that was. Yeah, let's watch that. That's how I know him. His ass was tripping. Maradona. Yeah. That's what it was. He used to fight everybody. How the fuck was those fouls not in there? He used to fight all the time, didn't he? His ass was tripping. How are these not in there? His ass used to be tripping. How is this not in there? They were just like fouling him every play. He was like, I had enough. How is this not in there? How is this not in that video? Dang. Nah, yeah, that looked like it hurt. Yeah, he started kneeing people. Yo. Nah, Maradona was crazy. It was more? Hold on, what the heck? Yo. It was Barcelona versus who? Athletic. Bubble. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yep, I've heard about that. That he's arguably one of the best. I didn't even know about him until somebody posted him, and I was like, hold on, who is this? And I watched like the best. I watched the video of like it said top 10 soccer players ever, and he was in it. And I was like, hold on, let me see. And then I watched his highlights, and I was like, oh yeah, he was good as fuck. I fuck with him.